Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back here with part 3 of what I hope for see companies, firms and brands to do for philanthropy or charity or whatever you want to call it. As ever, I'd love to hear your views, and I hope people out there enjoy this video as much as possible and I can make the world a better place somehow, all being well. So as ever, please let me know what you think in the comment section below, and yeah, here goes. So as I say, for anyone stumbling across this video, this is a 3-part video of my ideas for tea firms, companies and brands to support philanthropic or charitable causes and that sort of thing. Sorry if I'm laughing, but yeah. So please check out parts 1 and 2 if you haven't already done so, and let me know what you think. And again, if I'm making sense or not, or any constructive criticism or anything you want to comment, preferably positive. But here goes. So number 21. I hope I remember what I was going to say. I'm probably forgot certain things to say in the intro, but anyway. But yeah. So number 21. How the idea came about, or it was a while back when it's a bit of an immature sort of idea of mine, as many of my ideas are, to be fair. When I said tea for technology, and then the idea developed for tea companies to invest in African tech, and then the idea developed even further for tea firms and companies and brands to invest in different charities or support different charities as part of their PR and things like that. So that's how the idea developed. And yeah, so I'd love for them to support African tech. That's one of the biggest, or indigenous people from Africa and now Australasia, as the idea has developed in tech, because Black people have been underrepresented in tech, especially from Africa and Australasia. Like Aborigines and Torres and Strait Pacific Islanders and Maoris, I think, have suffered a lot of discrimination and disadvantages. And so I'd love to see them do well in tech, and also the money they make, if they do well in tech, can be regenerated in helping each other. They can train each other. And I'd love for people from indigenous Africans and Australasians to work on some projects in tech, which I hope to cover in August, my birth month. So I hope to focus on that and remember what I was going to cover. So with that, I don't want to give too much away on that. But anyway, moving on, number 22, as I say, the idea has advanced to other areas like supporting Asian entrepreneurs, areas where they make the tea, like in India and Kenya and places like that, and helping them to network, and also like things like fair. I know it already exists, fair trade tea, but I hope to encourage it even more. And yeah, looking at the best possible deal for the people who make the tea for us, and that sort of thing. And as I'm drinking Pepsi now, this could also be similar, or these ideas could sort of be borrowed or copied for soft drink companies as well, and things like that. Number 23, I hope for them to support the poorest possible areas of the world, especially in developing countries, supporting women and children and disadvantaged communities generally as well, and excuse me, things like education for girls and things like that. So I'd love to help companies like Tata, especially because as an anti-imperialist, I feel it's good to reparate those countries. A bit biased on me in a way, but I don't know if biased is the right word, but my own personal opinion is that African and Asian nations were robbed. So I think and lost, and also had a lot of people killed and lost their liberty and all sorts of things like that. So this is a reason why I would love to support countries in Africa and Asia, and also they still have a lot of poverty in those areas, so I'd love to see them be empowered, although I don't want it to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. I do want it to be so that in the future they can actually be empowered, and I hope it works out so that they can in the future not really need much aid, if at all. And I suppose it's trade, not aid, really, that I think is important, and it's actually to support them to run businesses and have jobs and things like that, so develop their careers and that sort of thing, rather than have to rely on the state or on aid or things like that. A bit hypocritical of me, perhaps. But anyway, so yeah, I hope they support the poorest possible communities, 10% poorest people in all possible countries, and all sorts of good causes, and fundraise for them. And again, have events where, as I mentioned in part 1, and possibly in part 2 as well, they have, if they had events possibly in like libraries or councils or even in parks perhaps, with council's permission, working with charities and N.G.O.s and politicians and governments and councils and that sort of thing, where people come and buy tea and a percentage, like 10% perhaps, or whatever the tea firms or companies or brands think is worthwhile or is a fair amount, would go into good causes. And it could be different themes for, or they could have different events, for different charities. As I mentioned in part one, again, it would be a mutual benefit. So they would obviously sell more tea, but at the same time, hopefully people who are struggling in poverty will be able to be uplifted from poverty as much as possible. Number 24, a country I'd especially love to support is India, but again, I'd love to support as many parts of Africa and Asia as possible as an anti-imperialist and a pan-Asianist and pan-Africanist as part of that. And maybe they could also help networks across Asia and Africa and between Africa and Asia as well. Especially in Egypt, which is like, could be a bridge between Africa and Asia. Number 25, also have a bias towards republics, as I often say, so I love them to support republics. Number 26, again, I think it'd be great to see a form of reparations. I would love to support Tata, as it's an Indian company and India was colonized and things like that, so I'd love to support Indian and Asian companies generally, as well as African companies, such Indian companies like Tata and others. Number 27, I know I mentioned that I wouldn't mention too often about Italian football, but I did say I might mention it one more. But yeah, hopefully they'll invest in Italian football as well, and Celtic, as I say, as well as all the good causes for charity. It's a bit of a biased one of mine, of course, but also Italian football can also, I'm sure most clubs in Italy and around the world, certainly Celtic does. I know Celtic's not in Italy, but they do a lot for charity anyway, like the Celtic Foundation, and they can work with the Celtic Foundation again, as well as N.G.O.s and charities, and build a sort of network where they help as many people as possible. Excuse me. Number 28, again, I hope this will make the world a better place as much as possible, and hopefully it will exceed my expectations, and the people in those developing countries will be doing a lot better. It would be great in the future. I'd love to see, like, for instance, in the future, I think this is my dyslexia and creativity, but I'd love to see, as most of my ideas probably are, but I'd love to see people from Africa and Asia making videos like talking about what opportunities they've got and how these charitable goals have actually worked to help to improve their life. So hopefully in the future, if these tea companies and firms and brands and whatnot help people in Africa and Asia, hopefully they can make videos, as I say, talking about how their lives have changed for the better, all being well. And so people will know that the money is going to charity. I know those videos could be sort of faked, but hopefully people will know if they're genuine or not. And so yeah, hopefully there'll be a genuine positive change. That's the hope anyway. Number 29, I'd also love to support my fellow dyslexics across Africa and Asia. And again, tea companies could also do stuff to raise awareness of disabilities, including neurodiverse conditions, learning disabilities, as well as physical and mental disabilities, and raise awareness and ensure that people with disabilities, whether those are physical, mental, or learning disabilities, are treated better across Asia and Africa. And number 30, again, I'd love to hear from your ideas and what your thoughts are. And I think that probably covers all my ideas, really. I don't know if I can think of any more. Maybe in the future I might be able to post them in the comments or whatnot. But I know I said I'd make videos, all being well, every Tuesday and Thursday to do with what tea firms could do for charity. But I think I've probably covered all the ideas I can think of. But again, I'd love to hear any other ideas or what good causes you think those tea companies should fundraise for. And if they did have events, would you be prepared to go and buy tea especially or specifically because of what good causes they support? Hope that made sense. And again, if there's any points I made that you disagree with or that don't really make sense, or you want to ask me any questions, please comment. I'll do my best to answer. I won't make promises, but I'll do my best. That's the only promise I can make. But yeah, again, I'd love to hear positive comments too. And I am out. Peace and love.